Good morning. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Well, I pray that this moment that you're getting a chance to view this finds you well, and that you woke up with the acknowledgement and the appreciation of God being kind once again to give you another Saturday morning. Our Saturdays are a blessing because it kind of opens us up for the things that we don't normally get to do during the week, whether you're sleeping in, whether you're doing some side work, whether you're volunteering, whether you're preparing for brunch, whether you're doing just being able to relax. It is a privilege. So I'm always grateful for Saturdays. And so my happy Saturdays really are happy Saturdays, regardless of what's going on. I thought I'd come on today and share my meditation regarding perspective. Yesterday, my husband and I, we shared with many couples at our church, and there was a part where it was like game time, and everybody was playing different games. And the table that we were sitting at, the game we had to play was called Boggle. And yeah, it was called Boggle, but it was Boggle with the big squares, not the little squares. So I think it was like supersized Boggle. And on what Boggle does is it takes all the letters, you have it in a box or in a tray, you shake them up. And then once you shake them up, you see how they land, and then it is your job to find as many words as you can, as long as the letters are connecting, right? So whether it's diagonally, horizontally, vertically, is that the right word? Vertically. However it is, you find as many words as you can. And so the objective is the one who finds the most kind of gets the most points. The most words that other people have not found, you get the most points. And so this game really had us going. We were playing with our wonderful friends who we share with us all the time. And so what really got us is like we were sweating because everybody's looking, trying to find all these words. You see all these letters, but now your mind has to take all those letters and create words with it, or see what words can be created. And it's very tricky because sometimes things look like a word and they're not a word, and you try to make them a word. Or what I found is I may have found a particular word but somebody else didn't, and it just really shed light on perspective. It's important to know that something can be sitting in front of you, and you could be along with 2-3 other people looking at the same thing, but everyone is going to have their own perspective. And it doesn't necessarily mean that what they think about a thing or how they feel about something or what they believe they see is wrong. It means that given the experiences that they have, the knowledge that they have, the place that they are in their mind, in their head, that's going to be what their perspective will be. And that's the place that they are coming from. How many times do we find ourselves engaged in a conversation or a back and forth? And two sides can be right, but it's all about perspective. And so I am encouraging you to be cool, meaning like don't just assume somebody else is wrong because they don't see it like you see it, or they don't believe it like you believe it, or they don't go about handling something the way that you would. Now, I will say this: to some things it is a black and white. To some things there are. To some things there is a right or wrong. And that is very clear. But I'm mighty afraid that in our relationships, in our exchanges, in our and even in our marriages, and how we deal with one another, we are charging people wrong, or charging people out of touch, or charging them just totally incorrect, when it really could just be that they have a different perspective, and we have to honor that perspective. Now, the victory, the joy is when you can come to a compromise, and you can find peace, and you can settle and resolve particular situations. But I tell you one thing, you have to honor people's perspective. The way my husband grew up, the way I grew up, totally different. I'm loud. He's not loud. He come from a quiet family. And so that's a different perspective. So when we go about things, it's different. When he's out and engaging, he's like a people person. He can ask a bunch of questions and engage about anything, which is weird. I'm not that. I kind of wait and let things kind of happen organically. Different perspective. Doesn't mean that I'm antisocial. It doesn't mean that he's too social. It just means that we have different ways or different perspective of how we view engagement, right? And so just be encouraged today. And like, be mindful of it. Like, pinpoint times when you was like, ooh, I was tripping, but they was only coming from their perspective. They can only sum up what they feel, what they think, what they know, based on their perspective. And the blessing is that God has given us an opportunity to enlarge our perspective, to learn more about things. That's where your victory comes as well. Be willing to learn more. Be willing to step out more. Be willing to be outside, meaning be outside of your box, so that you can learn more, so that your perspective can broaden. But honor people's perspective. And it doesn't mean that you think that they're right, because I know somebody could think, well, I do this, and so coming from my perspective, right? It doesn't mean that, because God is clear on what's wrong and what's not wrong. Very clear. But what may work for you may not work for me. The way I went about it, you may not go about it that way. If we get to the same outcome without stepping on nobody, without hurting anyone, without abusing the quote-unquote system, God still gets the glory, and we're still going to be okay. So just honor each other's perspective. I guarantee you it will help you in how you go through your relationships. It'll help you with how you judge people who may come at you sideways. It will help you in how you calculate how a situation has come to be. It's a perspective. I honor your perspective. Can you respect my perspective? I think we can. You have an amazing day. I love you so very much. Enjoy your Saturday, and don't let anybody take away your happy.